3 times, the world almost ended. Welcome to Your Dose of Wowness.
A car stalls on a side street in Sarajevo. Behind the wheel, a driver who has just made a very small mistake. A few feet away, a 19-year-old who, 10 minutes earlier, had already given up. He had put his gun away and gone to buy something to eat. The plan was over. Then, the target drove up and stopped directly in front of him. This is the assassination that started a war, and the wrong turn that made it possible. It is June 28, 1914, Wowness Day, a sacred anniversary on the Serbian calendar that commemorates medieval resistance. Despite the volatile atmosphere, security is minimal. The local governor waved off military reinforcements, leaving the motorcade vulnerable to the 7 conspirators positioned along the route, with bombs and pistols. These were not professional operatives, but amateurs operating against an almost undefended target. The collision that followed was driven by people improvising in real time. Most textbooks skip a crucial detail. The assassination plot initially failed. As the motorcade passed the Apple Quay, the first attacker threw a hand grenade. The device struck the folded canvas roof of the Archduke's car and bounced away, detonating under the following vehicle and wounding several bystanders. The attacker swallowed an old cyanide capsule and jumped into the shallow Miljacka River. The poison only made him ill, and the water was only a few inches deep. He was dragged out and arrested immediately. Franz Ferdinand was shaken but determined. He insisted the motorcade continue to the town hall for the scheduled reception, refusing to let the morning's bombing derail his program. For the other plotters down the line, the day appeared finished. They watched the security detail go on high alert and realized they had lost their window. Most of them melted back into the crowds, their nerves spent. By mid-morning, the threat was neutralized. The participants were scattering or under arrest, and the assassination attempt had passed as a failed effort. Gavrilo Princip was one of those who walked away. Believing the opportunity had vanished, he left the motorcade route behind. He ended up outside Schiller's Delicatessen on Franz Joseph Street. He was no longer hunting the Archduke. He was simply a young man standing on a street corner with nowhere else to go. If the way history hinges on these small moments fascinates you, hit subscribe. We have 9 more episodes in this arc, and the near misses only get more improbable. While Princip stood at the deli, the Archduke made a personal decision. After the town hall reception, he insisted on visiting the hospital to check on the officer wounded in the morning's blast. This required a last-minute route change. The staff revised the path to follow the main quay, but the instructions never reached the man steering the Archduke's car. The trajectory of the coming century became a matter of administrative neglect. A missed memo and a routine hospital visit created a second chance that the conspirators themselves had already given up on. The motorcade set out again, but the driver, Leopold Loika, was still operating on the original itinerary. Reaching the junction at Franz Joseph Street, Loika followed his habitual instructions and made the turn. The governor, riding in the car, realized the error and shouted for Loika to stop and reverse back toward the hospital. Loika braked and tried to shift into reverse. In his haste to correct the error, the heavy engine stalled. The car rolled to a stop directly in front of Schiller's Delicatessen. It came to a halt within arm's reach of Gavrilo Princip. A mechanical stall and a wrong turn reopened the door to a world war. This moment was the result of a singular administrative error, placing the abandoned plot back in motion. Princip stepped forward and fired twice. The first shot struck the Archduke's jugular vein. The second hit his wife, Sophie, in the abdomen. Both were dead within minutes. Princip was seized immediately. Like the morning's first attacker, his attempts to take cyanide and turn the gun on himself were thwarted by the crowd. The diplomatic aftermath moved with terrifying speed. Austria-Hungary issued Serbia an ultimatum with terms designed to be rejected, backed by a blank check from Germany. Exactly 1 month passed from the stalled engine on that side street to the formal declaration of war. Within 5 weeks, a regional murder became a continental conflict. Russia mobilized for Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia, and then on France. Britain entered over Belgium. 17 million people would die in the 4 years that followed. The sheer scale of the devastation bore no proportional relationship to the farcical sequence of small errors that triggered it. Many historians argue that the structural tensions of 1914 made some war inevitable, but the exact timing, the specific alliances, and the ultimate human cost were determined by the events of this day. A bomb landing true in the morning, a skipped hospital visit, or a driver who actually knew the revised route would have produced a 20th century completely unrecognizable from our own. If a stalled engine seems like a fragile foundation for history, consider how close we came to never having a history at all. 74,000 years ago, a volcano nearly wiped out the human species, blacking out the sun before we had written a single word. That is day 112, the Toba supervolcano. We live in a world shaped by a series of near misses that simply happen to resolve in this specific direction. The absolute foundation of our modern era is a few seconds on a Sarajevo street